So I did that all sophomore year, trained. I stayed in Davis over the summer in California and trained with the team all summer long. And then when the season picked up again for my junior year, I was the fastest, the fittest, the strongest, and the most skilled that I've ever been in my life. And I had a great season. I scored 6 goals this year and 2 assists. And I'm starting to get some accolades like, player of the week. I'm starting to get all conference. I'm starting to get my name kind of out and around the big conference. I'm starting to make a name for myself. And at this time, I'm like, whoa, I could have a pretty big senior year if I keep on working hard. And things are going pretty well already. I wonder, what's going to happen if I increase my workload more. And so I go back home over winter break after the season's done, and I get an email that was from the coach of UC Davis, and he said, listen, the head coach of the San Jose Earthquakes U23 team wants you and a couple other players to come down and try out for this PDL team, the semi-professional San Jose Earthquakes, like reserve team almost. And so I was very, very excited for that opportunity, and I said, definitely, I'm in, I'm going to try out, why not? I just kept on thinking, this is the MLS club's second team. This is going to be amazing. If I do well here, I can have a great shot of going into the MLS. And so I trained harder. Me and the other players who are going to go down, Ramon and Matt Wiesenfarth, we go and we start talking. We're like, listen, this is our chance. We can have a great opportunity here. Let's just train really, really hard, building up to these tryouts, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So we put in all this work. We're training every single day extra on top of our normal schedule, and the tryouts come and we kill it. We all make the team, and we're very, very excited about it, and that just kind of motivates us more. Instead of being like, we made it, let's chill, we went, okay, now we're on the team, let's go more. Let's try to become starters. Let's try to have a great season here and impress the San Jose Earthquakes coaching staff. So again, we train harder, we train more, and this is where I really start to shift my focus from soccer, just doing it to be successful, going, I can actually make something out of soccer. I can really have a chance of becoming a great player. And my focus really shifts to soccer. And so I really cut out a lot of more of the extra of my social life, the going out, in college and having fun. And I focus more on just getting by with my studies. And I'm really now focused on becoming the best soccer player that I possibly can be. So the season with the Earthquakes, that starts towards the end of the school year. And because of the season, I had to miss almost 4 days a week of school, which there's 5 days in the week of the school week. So I went to school and classes on Monday, and I missed my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday classes. All because we were driving down 2 hours every single morning, practicing with the Earthquakes team, and then driving 2 hours back. And that would kill our entire day. So then we couldn't go to our classes, and then other than that, I pretty much just studied as much as I could to try to stay up with my classes, and I kept only going to my Monday classes. And then on the weekends, we were traveling. We'd go to Utah, we'd go around California, we'd go to Arizona. And so I really was only in Davis for the nights and on Mondays. And so my grades started to slip, but I kept on working. I'm like, I need to keep my grades up. I need to stay eligible to play in my senior year, my senior season. And so I'm either playing soccer at this point or studying. That's pretty much what I'm doing at this point in my life. There's not much other than that, and I was completely fine with that. And so the season goes by great. I have 6 goals on the season. I was a starter pretty much for the all second half of the season. And I'm really impressed the coaching staff. And after the season, the coach talks to us and he's like, listen, you guys have a great shot of going pro. Don't let anyone take this dream from you. And he kind of motivates us, saying that we can become a pro. And at this moment, I'm thinking it's where it starts to click that I could become a pro. And this is a pretty late period in my life. And this is where I start to set goals where I'm like, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And so senior year comes, or over the summer before senior year, I stay in Davis, and all I do is I train, I eat, I sleep, and I lived. That was my summer. I had nothing else. I hung out at the house with the guys, with the teammates, and I trained, I lifted, I slept, and I ate. And that was pretty much our schedule. That was our house's schedule, and it was pretty intense. And senior year comes, and I think I put a little bit too much pressure on myself, and I think that I wanted it too much, and I started stressing when I wasn't scoring goals consistently. So I had an okay season, 4 goals and 2 assists, which was good. It was better than my freshman and sophomore year, but it wasn't up to my standards that I wanted. I wanted over 7 goals, preferably like in the 10 range, around there, but it just wasn't the best. But still, I was getting noticed. I had all conference teams, and I was getting noticed by some scouts and some agents, and at this point, I'm really starting to talk and trying to see how to set up what I'm going to do. And so I still had a year left in school, and I made the decision to drop out. So I dropped out of school because I knew that this is going to be like my now or never chance to go play pro. I can always finish my degree, but I can't always play professional soccer. So I dropped out, and then I went back home, and I lived at home for about 2 to 3 months as the American Professional League started up in February. So December and January, I'm just at home in training and lifting. And this was a very hard time for me because I'm looking around and all my friends and all my teammates are in Davis, and they're having fun and they're training and they're all together, and people are asking me what's going on with my life. Parents are asking me, friends are asking me, and I have to tell them like I dropped out of school and I'm trying to go pro, and they ask me like, what teams are you talking to, like what's going on, and I just kind of like, well, I'm talking to teams but nothing really yet. I trained a little bit with a professional indoor team, the Sacramento Surge. I started talking to agents, but I kind of put the agents on hold. And I'm staying in the loop with some scouts from some MLS teams. And so I'm kind of just shooting out all these emails and trying to see what I have going for me. And I pretty much had Oklahoma City, a 3rd division professional team, wanting me to come into their preseason. I had the professional indoor team talking to me. I had another professional team in Washington, the Kitsap Pumas, talked to me. And then I had the semi-professional team, the Ventura County Fusion, talked to me. And then the Sacramento Republic, another professional team, they were kind of talking to me just a little bit. And then I also was interested in maybe going abroad and trying something in a different country. So I'm staying in the loops, trying out all this stuff, and all of a sudden, around February, everything starts to break down. My Oklahoma City, they had a change in coaching staff, and there went my invite into the preseason. The Kitsap Pumas, they filled up their roster pretty quick, and there went my invite into their preseason and to play for their team. And then the Sacramento Republic, I didn't hear anything from them for a few weeks. And all of a sudden, I went from having a couple options to having nothing. And so I start to freak out. And so I messaged the agents that were contacting me earlier in November. And I'm like, listen, I don't have anything. Do you have anything for me? And they said, sign with me and then we'll figure it out. So I signed, and they immediately got me a trial in Iceland. So I flew over to Iceland and I tried out, and I just had a terrible, terrible tryout. I was nervous. I think I was like, this is my only chance. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself again, and I just didn't play to my full potential. And so I got cut from there. And I came back to the States, and I was like, I still have nothing. So I'm going to try and do these open tryouts, which is pretty much like anybody can try out for these teams. So I did an open tryout for the Portland Timbers 2 and the Vancouver Whitecaps 2. The Portland Timbers 2, I never heard anything back from them, so I'm guessing they didn't like what they saw. And then the Vancouver Whitecaps 2, they invited me back in the preseason, and after 2 days I was cut. They went from having a roster of 33 players, and I was a part of that 33, and they cut it down to 15. So they cut over half of the team, and I was part of the half that got cut, which sucked. So I'm back in Portland, I'm back in Oregon now with nothing again, and I've been cut now for like 3 times, and I'm trying to talk to the Sacramento Republic to try to get them to bring me into preseason. So I talked to them, and I finally they said I have a 2-day trial. So I go in, I fly back down to Sacramento, I'm living back with my old college buddies, and I'm commuting into Sacramento to train with them, and my 2-day trial gets turned into a 2-week trial. And I'm playing pretty well, but the coach says that we don't have enough money to offer you a contract, and we see potential in you, but you're not quite there. And I was like, okay. And then he says, but we want to offer you, since you're living in Davis, we want to offer you to stay with us for the season as a practice player, just to train and to get some experience, and then maybe we'll talk about the next season. So I said, yeah, this is pretty much my only option. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for sure. And they had me. They said, okay, now what you're going to also do is you're going to be playing games with the Ventura County Fusion down in LA. So if you guys don't really know, Sacramento and LA is a 5-hour drive. So I would Monday through Thursday train with Sacramento Republic, and then Friday morning I would drive down to LA, 5 hours down. I'd get there around evening time. I'd eat dinner down there, live in an apartment with some of the guys in the Ventura County Fusion, spend the night, and then the next day I'd play the game. And then after the game, it would end at like 10 o'clock at night, and I would drive 5 hours back. And I'd get back at like Sunday morning at 4 a.m. back into Sacramento. I'd come back in, I'd sleep pretty much all day Sunday, and then Monday I'd start training again, and I'd train with Sacramento Republic all week. And I did that again. Every single week I had that schedule, and it was exhausting. I drove 10 hours a week. And my commute just to go to Sacramento was about 45 minutes. So I was driving Monday through Thursday about an hour and a half every single day. And then on the weekends, 10 hours. So I was doing a lot of driving, and my body was just very, very exhausted. But I thought, this is going to be worth it. And it was. My skill level exploded. The professional trainings at Sacramento Republic were top notch. They were awesome, and I learned so much from them. And once the season ended, they pretty much said that we can't really offer you a contract for next season, but let's stay in contact and good luck to you. And so I said thank you. I was very professional about it, and then I started talking to different coaches, and through some old coaches, Matt Atencio, who I trained with his team back in my freshman year of high school when I didn't really have a club team. He said that he had a friend who was German and wanted to maybe send me over to Germany. So I kept on meeting with them like once a week, driving down into San Francisco and just meeting with the German guy, Marcus, and Matt, just talking and maybe seeing if I could go over to Germany. And we were pretty confident that it could work, but they wanted me to go fly over to Tennessee first and train with Brent Goulet, a coach who used to play over in Germany, like 3rd division and 2nd division, and just to train, and he would kind of evaluate me. And so I flew over to Tennessee, and I stayed there for 10 days, and I trained with him every single day. And afterwards, he's like, yeah, you have what it takes to go play in Germany. So I flew back to California, and then I pretty much set up flying over to Germany. And then so about in November, the start of November, I flew over to Germany by myself into Frankfurt, and I kind of stayed with some friends of Marcus, and I kind of bounced around from hotel to apartment to Airbnb to friend house to going around pretty much the Frankfurt general metropolitan area while I'm trying out with different teams. And so I tried out with 3 or 4 teams, and they said that they had no money, but they thought I was a very good player. And then the 4th team, they loved me. They liked me. They said, okay, we want to sign you to a contract and an apartment, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, I've made it. It worked out, finally. And all of these trials were all set up by Marcus. Marcus had a lot of contacts over here, so he would call up clubs, and he'd call up friends and say, can you call around for Matt, because he wants to find some trials. And so he did all of the work for me. He pretty much acted like my agent to try to find teams for me. And then so anyway, this last team, they offered me a contract, and I thought I made it. I did it. I finally had done it. It's been over a year, but I'm going to sign my first pro contract. Then a day later, I get a call, and it's the coach, and he says, Matt, I'm really sorry. I want to sign you, but the manager doesn't want to add any more players to the roster. So there I go. I have nothing now. And I'm about to fly back to the States, and another failure. But he goes, but I have another team, SG Kinzenbach, that could be interested in you. It's definitely going to be a good league, and you can develop there, and then over the summer we can talk maybe about the next season. So I try out with SG Kinzenbach. It's a great fit, great coaching staff, great players, and they invite me to keep on coming back, and then they pretty much invite me to sign a contract with them. So I did that, and I had to do a lot of work moving over to Germany and getting my player pass and getting a visa and doing all that stuff, which took a lot of work, and it was very, very difficult. But now I'm playing over with SG Kinzenbach in the Verbandsliga, and hopefully going to keep on progressing higher, and I definitely have higher goals. But that's where I'm at now, and that's kind of my story so far. So I hope you guys kind of get a better picture of my history, and I hope that this motivates you, because I didn't have a crazy youth. You know, I wasn't growing up through the academy system of Barcelona. I was really kind of like a nobody up until 17, 18 years old. So with hard work, you can really achieve anything. And I want you to see that I didn't have natural talent, and it's not just something that I was always good at. And I worked harder than everybody else. And since I worked harder than everybody else, I progressed faster than everybody else, and I became better than everybody else. And so I hope you see it's all baby steps, because people always ask me, how did I become a pro? And it's like, well, where do you want me to start? Because it really starts when I was 5 years old, and I really started playing soccer. And it sounds kind of lame, but it's true. You know, where does it start where I tell people how I became pro? Because I can't start last year, because if I started last year, I still was like, well, I still had like 5 hard years of training every single day up to this point. And so I need to do this video to really show you that it's just all progression, and it's years and years and years and years of hard work and training and lifting and just becoming the best athlete and soccer player that you can that makes you a pro. It's not that I sent out one email or I got one agent that helped me become a pro like that. It's the years and years of dedicated hard work. And so you guys can do the same exact thing that I've done if you dedicate the years and years and years of hard work. And it's nothing special about it, just most people don't want to dedicate 10 plus years of their life to training every single day. So that's kind of like what I've learned, and what I found out through my career and my life is just, you know, work harder than everybody else around you. Be the hardest worker out there, and you will have the most success. That's what I've really found. And when you do have failures where you are put on the B team, you're cut from a team, you don't make a team, you're all this stuff, you know, if you've listened, I've had failure after failure after failure after failure, but I'm just stubborn. I just stick with it, and I keep on going and keep on working, and you're gonna persevere through it. One failure doesn't really define you unless you let it define you and you quit. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. So it was a long video. If you made it this far, you know, I'm very impressed, because I don't know if this story was very super interesting, but I hope you guys liked it. So if you did, give me a thumbs up, comment, and also ask me any questions if I didn't go over something, because I kind of really skimmed over my career. So if you have more in-depth questions, ask in the comment section below. And finally, be sure to subscribe, because I do tons of day-in-the-life videos and tons of tutorial videos every few days. So subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go to bed now. Night, guys.